Welcome back, everybody. We're diving into retail today
Ooh, fun.
as we get closer and closer to the holidays.
Yeah, Black Friday's right around the corner.
Right. It's November 4th as we record this.
Wow.
So we're getting into that time of year. And I thought it would be interesting to take a look at a couple of blog posts that I found from Multimedia Plus.
Right.
They're all about training retail associates
Yeah,
for the holiday rush. And I thought,
makes sense.
this is something that could be really interesting for anybody out there listening. Whether they are a retail manager themselves or if they're working at, corporate for a retail company, or even if they're just a shopper
Yeah.
who's kind of curious about what goes on behind the scenes.
Right.
I think this is something that would be
Well,
really fascinating.
I think this is a great topic. And, it's such a critical time for retailers.
Yeah.
This is when they make or break their year.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it comes down to the associates that are on the front lines.
Yeah. They're the face of the brand.
Exactly. They're the ones who are interacting with customers every day.
Problem solving.
Absolutely. Handling all those difficult situations
Mm.
and really making sure that the customer experience is a positive one.
Yeah. And so Multimedia Plus is really all about, training and empowering those associates.
Right.
And they have this platform called Insight, which is a mobile learning platform.
Interesting.
So it's kind of interesting how they're approaching things. And one of the things that they really emphasize in these articles is the importance of a structured onboarding process,
Yeah.
especially for seasonal hires.
Right. Because you've got a lot of people coming in who are just there for a short period of time.
Right.
They need to get up to speed quickly.
Exactly.
They need to understand the products, the policies, the procedures, how to handle those, peak hours when the store is packed.
Yeah.
Safety protocols, all of that.
They have to get all that in a short amount of time. And, I never really thought about it that way, but I guess it makes sense. If you're bringing in all these seasonal workers, they really need to have that solid foundation.
Yeah. It's almost like training for a pilot or a surgeon.
Yeah.
The holiday season in retail can be so unpredictable.
Yeah.
You need to be able to think on your feet.
That's a good analogy.
You need to be able to handle those difficult situations, and a well-structured onboarding program can really help build that confidence and competence.
Right. So it's not just about throwing them in there and hoping for the best.
Exactly.
It's about giving them the tools and the knowledge that they need to succeed.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that they mentioned that I thought was really interesting was role playing.
Oh, wow.
They actually suggest having associates practice handling those difficult situations.
So they're like running through scenarios.
Yeah, like long lines or dealing with, difficult customers.
Oh, that's great.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it might sound a little silly at first.
Yeah.
But, there's actually a solid psychological basis for it.
Okay.
By simulating those high-pressure scenarios in a safe environment, it allows associates to develop those coping mechanisms, learn to stay calm under pressure.
Mm-mm.
It's a bit like exposure therapy.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
You're kind of getting them ready for the real thing.
Exactly. And it allows them to work through those anxieties and build confidence before they're actually facing, a real crowd of shoppers.
That's so smart.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's a great technique.
And then they talk about technology too.
Oh, yeah.
You know how associates need to be comfortable with the different systems that they're going to be using?
Of course.
Like POS systems, mobile devices for inventory. It seems like these days you need to be pretty tech savvy.
Right.
Even if you're just working, as a retail associate.
Well, think about it. Even simple tasks like checking for an item's availability or processing a return can be so much more efficient with the right technology. But it's not just about efficiency. It's also about empowering associates to provide better customer service.
Yeah.
Access product information on the fly-off, even personalized recommendations.
Okay, so it's really changing the game in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
But it sounds like you need training to go along with that, because if you've never used a POS system before, it can be pretty intimidating.
Absolutely. You need to go beyond just the basic functions.
Yeah.
Especially during the holidays. Associates need to be able to quickly process gift cards, apply discounts, look up specific promotions.
Right.
And with mobile devices, they might need to be able to manage inventory, check stock in other locations, or even place orders for customers.
Wow. So it's not just about scanning an item and taking payment anymore. It's about understanding all the nuances of those systems and how to really leverage them to create a better experience for the customer.
Exactly. And the training needs to go hand in hand with that technology. Multimedia Plus even talks about the importance of training associates in sales techniques like upselling and cross-selling.
Okay, I've heard those terms before, but can you break those down for anyone who might not be familiar?
Sure, upselling is essentially encouraging a customer to purchase a more premium version of the product that they're interested in.
Okay.
So, for example, suggesting a higher-end coffee maker with more features.
Got it.
Cross-selling is about suggesting complementary products that enhance the original purchase.
Okay.
So if someone's buying that coffee maker, you might suggest a bag of gourmet coffee beans or a milk frother,
Makes sense.
things like that.
So it's all about adding value to the customer's purchase and helping them get the most out of their experience.
Exactly.
Okay.
But here's the key point that both articles emphasize. Associates need to be more than just order takers or cashiers.
Right.
They need to be able to engage with customers, understand their needs, and offer solutions that go beyond just ringing up a sale.
Yeah. It's about building rapport.
Absolutely
Yeah,
right.
there's trust.
Especially during a busy season like the holidays.
Mm.
Those little interactions can make a big difference.
Yeah. And I think that leads into the next thing that they talk about, which is motivation.
Yeah, because how do you keep those associates engaged, enthusiastic, and performing at their best?
Yeah, especially when they're dealing with long hours,
Right?
demanding customers.
The pressure to hit sales targets.
All those things, it's got to be tough.
It can be really challenging, and that's where leadership comes in.
Yeah.
It's not just about setting those sales targets. It's about creating a work environment where associates feel valued, appreciated, and motivated to go the extra mile.
Okay, so how do they suggest retailers approach that? Because I imagine just telling someone to be more motivated doesn't really work.
You're absolutely right. Multimedia Plus advocates for a more nuanced approach, one that focuses on creating a sense of purpose and belonging.
Okay, I like that. But how do you actually make that happen?
Well, they dive into some really interesting strategies, including things like personalized customer service in-store events, and even using innovative technology to empower associates and make their jobs more engaging.
Okay, so we're going to get into all that. This is fascinating. I'm already seeing how these insights could be valuable, not just for retailers, but for anyone who works with teams or deals with customers.
I agree, and I think what Multimedia Plus emphasizes so well is that even with all the advancements in technology and online shopping, the human element remains at the heart of a successful retail experience.
Yeah, we can't forget that it's ultimately about people connecting with people.
Hmm.
And I have a feeling Multimedia Plus has a lot more to say about that.
They do.
Yeah.
And I think their insights on how to foster that human connection, especially during the high-stakes holiday season, will be particularly illuminating.
Okay, I can't wait to unpack all that.
Let's do it.
Let's continue our deep dive. Okay, so we've been talking about onboarding and training, but I want to dive a little bit deeper into this idea of motivation.
Right.
We talked about how Multimedia Plus is advocating for a more human-centered approach,
Absolutely.
and I'm really intrigued by that.
It's really interesting because they kind of challenge that traditional view of retail motivation, where it's all about sales targets and quotas.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, no, it's about creating this work environment where associates feel genuinely valued and inspired.
Okay, so how do you do that?
Yeah, how do you translate that into something tangible?
Yeah. How do you make someone feel valued,
Right.
especially during the holidays when everybody is stressed and overworked and.
That's a great question, and it's something that Multimedia Plus addresses directly.
Okay.
One of their key recommendations is to empower associates to deliver personalized customer service.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it.
Okay.
In today's world of online shopping and self-checkout, that personal touch can really make a difference.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was at the grocery store and I was checking myself out and I thought, I kind of miss having that interaction with the cashier sometimes.
Right. It's about making that customer feel seen and heard,
Yeah.
even if it's just for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And it gives the associate a sense of ownership and pride in their work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about scanning items.
Yeah.
It's about making a connection and potentially brightening someone's day.
Right. And I bet that has, a ripple effect on the whole atmosphere of the store.
Absolutely.
If you have those employees who are really engaged,
Right.
it makes the whole shopping experience better.
Exactly. And Multimedia Plus takes this idea a step further.
Okay.
They also suggest incorporating in-store events and experiences
Okay.
that create a sense of excitement and community.
Okay.
So think about things like product demonstrations,
Mm.
holiday-themed workshops,
Mhm.
or even partnering with local businesses for special promotions.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Things like that.
So you're getting people into the store
Exactly.
and you're giving them something fun to do.
Right. And it's not just about attracting customers. It's also about creating a more enjoyable and fulfilling work environment for the associates.
Yeah.
When they're excited about what they're doing, that enthusiasm naturally translates to better customer service.
It's a win-win.
Absolutely happier customers and more motivated employees.
Right.
And of course, we can't forget about the importance of recognition and rewards.
Oh, yeah.
Multimedia Plus really emphasizes that a little appreciation can go a long way in boosting morale.
Right, right.
And it's not just about monetary bonuses. It's about acknowledging individual efforts and celebrating successes.
It's funny you say that. We were talking about that on a previous deep dive
Oh, really?
about, the psychology of motivation and how those little things, those little gestures of appreciation can really make a big difference.
Absolutely. And it ties back to that core idea of treating employees like individuals, not just cogs in a machine.
Right.
Really valuing their contributions.
Okay, so as we're talking about all this, I'm wondering, how do you balance this focus on the human element with the increasing reliance on technology in retail?
That's a great question, and it's something that Multimedia Plus addresses head on. They believe that technology, when implemented thoughtfully, can actually enhance the human element, not replace it.
Okay, how so?
Well, think about the technology we discussed earlier.
Okay.
POS systems, mobile devices, inventory management tools, all of these things can actually free up associates from those tedious tasks,
Okay.
giving them more time to focus on those meaningful interactions with customers.
So instead of, being bogged down by paperwork or running back and forth to check stock, they can actually be present with the customer.
Exactly.
Okay.
And offer that personalized assistance.
That makes a lot of sense.
And technology can also provide associates with access to more information, allowing them to answer questions more confidently, make better recommendations, and ultimately provide a more satisfying customer experience.
Okay, so it's not technology versus humans.
Right.
It's using technology to kind of empower those human interactions.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the most insightful takeaways from Multimedia Plus's approach.
Yeah.
They're advocating for this more holistic view of retail, one that recognizes the essential role of technology, but never loses sight of the human connection at its core.
I like that it's about finding that sweet spot
Right.
where technology enhances the human experience rather than overshadowing it.
Exactly. And when you achieve that balance, you create a more engaging, rewarding, and ultimately successful retail environment for both employees and customers.
Okay, so it sounds like we've covered a lot of ground here.
Well, yeah.
From onboarding and training to motivation and the role of technology.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I'm getting a much deeper understanding of, what it takes to really prepare for the holiday rush.
And these insights aren't just relevant to the holiday season. They're applicable to retail all year round.
Yeah, it's about creating a sustainable and thriving retail ecosystem.
Exactly.
Where employees feel valued, customers feel connected, and technology serves as a tool for empowerment rather than a replacement for human interaction.
Precisely. And as we move into the final part of our deep dive, I want to shift our focus to a specific aspect that I think will resonate deeply with our listeners.
Okay.
The power of storytelling.
Ooh, storytelling.
Yeah.
I love a good story.
Me too. And Multimedia Plus emphasizes that one of the most effective ways to connect with customers and inspire associates is through the art of storytelling.
Okay, so how does that work?
Well, it's about going beyond just product features and benefits and tapping into that emotional core of why people shop.
Okay. I'm really intrigued now.
I think you'll find it fascinating.
So you're saying that storytelling has a place even in retail?
It does. It really does.
I'm fascinated. I got to hear more about this.
Well, Multimedia Plus suggests that storytelling can be kind of woven into a lot of different aspects of the customer experience.
Okay.
Like, for example, think about how associates could use stories to connect products to people's lives.
So, like, instead of just saying, oh, this coffee maker has this feature and that feature, you tell a story.
Exactly. Like, imagine an associate sharing a story about how this particular coffee maker helped them create, the perfect morning routine.
Yeah, like it changed their life.
Exactly.
And now it's not just a machine, it's a gateway to a better day.
Right. And those kind of personal anecdotes make the product more relatable and memorable.
Yeah, it's like that saying, people will forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Exactly. A good story can evoke those emotions and really create a lasting impression.
Okay, so it's not just about the features, it's about the feeling.
Right. And storytelling could go beyond just individual products, too.
Okay.
It can be used to create a sense of community within the store.
Oh, okay.
Like imagine an associate sharing stories about the local artisans who crafted those, holiday
Oh,
ornaments
that's
or the
nice.
history behind a beloved seasonal tradition.
Yeah, you're kind of weaving those narratives into the whole shopping experience.
Exactly. It's like turning the store into a living, breathing
I
storybook.
love that.
And that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
When customers feel connected to the products, the people, and the stories behind them,
Mm-hmm.
they're more likely to have a positive and memorable experience.
Man, you're making me rethink my whole approach to holiday shopping.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to slow down and hear those stories,
Right.
and appreciate those little moments of connection.
I think that's a beautiful sentiment, and it really speaks to the power of what Multimedia Plus is advocating for.
Yeah.
They're encouraging us to rediscover that human element in retail,
Hmm.
to see beyond the transactions and embrace the stories that connect us all.
And I bet this approach can be just as powerful for motivating employees as it is for engaging customers.
Absolutely. Sharing stories about the company's history, its mission, or the positive impact that products have had on people's lives can really instill a sense of purpose and pride in those employees.
So it's about giving them a reason to believe in what they're doing,
Right.
see themselves as part of something bigger.
Exactly. And when employees feel that connection,
Huh.
that sense of purpose,
Hmm.
it's reflected in their interactions with customers.
Yeah, they become like brand ambassadors,
Exactly.
sharing their
And
passion
in their enthusiasm.
with everybody they encounter.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
So it sounds like storytelling is more than just a nice to have. It's a vital tool
Absolutely.
for creating a thriving retail ecosystem.
I completely agree. And I think it's a takeaway that extends far beyond retail.
Hmm. How so?
Well, storytelling is a fundamental human need.
Okay.
It's how we make sense of the world, connect with others, and find meaning in our experiences.
Wow. This has been an amazing deep dive.
It has.
We covered so much.
We did. From the nitty-gritty of, onboarding and training to these big ideas of motivation and storytelling.
Yeah.
It's been a great conversation.
I feel like I've learned so much about, what it takes to create a really exceptional retail experience.
Me too.
And not just during the holidays, but
Yeah.
all year round.
All year round.
And, I think I have a new appreciation for the hard work and dedication of all those retail associates.
Yes.
Especially during this busy season.
They're the unsung heroes of the holidays.
They really are. And you know what? I'm going to start paying more attention to those stories
Yes.
that unfold in the aisles of my favorite stores.
I love that.
Take the time to listen and connect.
I think that's a wonderful idea. And as you head out for your holiday shopping this year, I encourage you to do the same.
Okay.
Take a moment to connect with those people who are working so hard to make your experience special.
Mhm.
Listen to their stories, share a kind word,
Mhm.
and remember that even in the midst of all that holiday rush,
Yeah.
there's always room for a little bit of human connection.
Oh, that's beautifully said.
Thank you.
Well, this was fascinating. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive
It's been my pleasure.
into the world of retail. I feel like we've uncovered some real gems today.
We did. And to our listeners, as you venture out into the craziness that is holiday shopping,
Yeah.
just remember that the best retail experiences are often the ones that touch our hearts as well as our wallets.
Mm-hmm.
Happy shopping, everyone.
Happy shopping.